Okay, everybody, welcome back. I am here with the co-host, or actually, you should be the host. I should be the co-host. Angela Vahue on the Slight Shift Show, and we are doing a part 2 episode where I am still in the hot seat, and Angela's asking me questions about my past, so everybody and all the listeners get to hear a little bit about what got me or whatever, why I am the way I am, why are the good things and why are the faults and all the things in between. But I'm excited to see you and thank you for coming on again, Angela. Any words of wisdom before we start?
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
My brother did an Ironman.
He did have to just keep swimming.
Well, it was so funny because right before he went in the water, I said, John, just think of Dory. Who's Dory? Go, from Nemo. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And after I saw him that night, he goes, you bastard. I go, what? He goes, all I could think of is Dory. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
But did it work?
It worked. It got him through. He had a records fast swim. I said, so don't beat it.
Well, and you can use that for anything. Like, it doesn't have to be swimming. It could be like, just keep digging, or, just keep pushing, just keep driving, just keep smiling, whatever. Just keep on keeping on, man.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I love it. Great start to our conversation. But right now, I'm in my hot seat. Hit me with some questions.
And a birdie told me that, so the last question that I asked on the last podcast is if you could give your younger self any bit of advice, what would that be? And so the advice that you gave was to be kinder to your body and all of that. But I heard that you might have, that you've had some time to really think about it.
I had some time to think about it, and I'm going to add to that. If I was to tell my younger self, I would say two things. Number one, listen to your elders. Listen to the generation before, because they truly have made the mistakes and you get to benefit from, and they're a wealth of knowledge. That was one. And the second thing, because even to this day, I think, I wish I listened to them. I wish I listened to them. But we think we know it all when we're younger, right?
100%. I hear all the time, even with my daughter, she'd be like, oh no, this does, and I'm like, oh really? How many times have you X, Y, or Z, before? And so it's just interesting. We all have this mentality of like, we know it all.
Oh gosh.
We're the best.
Yeah.
Myself included, and so as you get older, you're then like, oh
geez, if I only listened.
If I had only listened.
There's a saying that Grandmaster Kim shared with us one time. He goes, you know how much you know when you realize how much you don't know. And as we get older, you realize, oh my gosh, I know so little. So it's really, really amazing. And the second thing is just be financially smart and save money from the beginning. Save. If I was to do it again, I would have had a disciplined structure, and it would have made life at this stage so much easier. I'm doing fine and I'm happy, but I had a lot of roller coasters in my career. But if I was smart and I listened to the mentors and I saved consistently, I would have handled those roller coasters much better.
100%. Love that.
And I'm sure.
Okay, so
that another time though. But anyway, all right.
I know, it's like, hold me back.
About
that. So, okay. I mentioned this last time. I have about like 1.5 million questions about Grandmaster Kim. So first, for our listeners that are like, who the heck is this Grandmaster Kim that he was talking about? Can you please tell us two things? This is a two-pronged question. Who is Grandmaster Kim, number one, and how did you meet him? Like, how did he get to be this unbelievably influential person?
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call him like a statue, because like he is like built into your life. Do you know what I mean? Like he's like a statue in your life. And so
he is embedded in my existence for sure.
Embedded, there we go. That's the word.
Embedded in my existence. Yes. And I want to add, and you had the opportunity to meet him a couple of months ago.
I did. Oh my gosh. When he came to town and I was literally like, I am gonna crash your party.
Yeah.
Because I have heard about this man for a decade and I needed to meet him. So I was like a nervous schoolgirl. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what do you say to Grandmaster Kim? How do you greet Grandmaster Kim? Do you hug him? Do you not hug him? Do you shake hands? Do you not shake hands? Do you smile? Do you not smile? I was like going through I was like, do I take my shoes off? Do I leave my shoes on? Full lotus, half lotus, how do I sit? How do I, I was going through all the things in my head.
Oh my gosh. It was, I saw it too. But it was awesome. And I actually had a conversation with your husband after, and I go, oh yeah. So Angela got to meet Grandmaster Kim. She goes, yeah, I used to think that our wedding day was the best day, but I think that was.
It was very exciting. And he's just, you mentioned last time, like how humble he is. He really is. Like I was very nervous because I mean, the man's like in his 70s and he can do like splits and meditates for hours. And so I was very like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to live up to his, standards, or like, I can barely touch my toes, but he makes you feel instantly comfortable. Which, what an amazing quality and aura.
Yeah. He is, a lot of, I said it last time, I'm very blessed. So Grandmaster Kim was a Korean back in the 1960s, a Korean middleweight and heavyweight national champion. So he was a great fighter in his day, and he's revered. We went to Korea and I was with them together, and like all the other Korean masters were like, it was like, I couldn't believe how much respect they had for him. It was so wonderful to see. But he was raised very poor, and he couldn't afford a lot of the things that the other kids could afford. So whenever they would go and party or do this or go out, he said, well, I can't afford it, so I'm just going to train. And all he did was train and train and train. And as a result, he was on the Korean Army, National Army team, and was middleweight and heavyweight champion, fighting international. It was amazing. So
I can't picture him ever being heavyweight, but that's a whole.
Well, he's tall. Yeah, and he's tall. I have a picture of him on that team when he was like 18 years old.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I'll show it to you. It's great. But I met and anyway, so as far as a martial artist, he is one of the individuals and the Korean masters that brought Taekwondo to the United States.
Okay.
And he's one of the founding Taekwondo fathers. His brother went first. His brother, Sung Soo Tiger Kim, was his master. And his master, he trained over, and then he went over to the United States with him, right? And then he started teaching and having schools here. So as a martial art, he was featured on I don't know if you remember, the Wide World of Sports.
Oh yeah, yep.
He did demonstrations at Madison Square Garden. Like, it's just unbelievable, like what he can do physically and technically in Taekwondo. There's nobody that I've ever seen better. Now, how did I meet him? So when I left my original instructor, who was everything but Grandmaster Kim, taught me how to fight, and that was it. He actually, Grandmaster Kim, I met him for one of the first times when I tested for my 4th degree black belt, and he was on the testing board.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that's the first time he saw me. And then after that, I was introduced by one of my mentors, Grandmaster Ed Cherfella, who was Grandmaster Kim's student. So shortly after that, he saw, and I think Grandmaster Kim said, wow, these guys are pretty good. Let me help them. And that was back in 1999 when I had just opened my school, and then he took us in, and then we started training together at that point, and have not stopped. And I remember one of the first times we ever met, he introduced Tado to us, and the same things that we still do today is what he shared with us. And I remember the first time I ever had Tado with somebody, because I was like, oh, I want to share this with my students and so on. And I'm pouring the tea, and the student says, oh, if you do this, it'll go much faster. I'm like, well, that takes away the whole idea of shared time and so on. So he, and I'm not even doing it justice, and there's so much more to say, but he is so instrumental in the way I see martial arts now, as opposed to when I saw it earlier. I saw it I loved it. I saw it as physical and mental development. Now, through training with him for over 27 years, I see it more spiritual and mental development and physical after.
Interesting. So you had a shift there.
Oh, not a slight shift.
No.
Huge shift. Like
wow.
Like this is what Taekwondo, this is what martial arts really is. Because I thought it was all physical. It was all physical. How hard you could kick, who you could spar, become national champion. I did not know about the essence, the true essence of meaning about martial arts, about the self-development part, about the personal development part, about the standards and the values. This was all through Grandmaster Kim.
That's so interesting. So I don't think I've ever really shared this with you. So like, you know how like you hear a word and like you have a perception or a definition in your head or whatever. So we've known each other for literally like a decade now. And so but when I hear Taekwondo, I never thought physical. I never
amazing.
Yeah. And so I thought like karate, physical, jiu-jitsu, physical, sparring, but like Taekwondo, and I don't even know why. Yeah. I don't know if it's because of how, I don't know if it's because of how we met. Did I have that thought before we met? I'm not 100% sure, but to me, it's never been physical. It's always been mindset led.
Yeah. Yes.
And so, even right down to like, okay, you break the board type thing, or you break the piece of concrete. Like I have a video of me breaking concrete.
Yeah, that's right.
I show it to my daughter and she's like, Mommy, how did you do that? She's like blown away by the fact that like I broke a piece of concrete with my hand,
Yeah.
But it's here.
Yes.
That gets in the way of any physical, strength that you may or may not be like pouring through, breaking the board or whatever it may be. So I don't think I ever really told you that it's never, wow. I've never associated Taekwondo with physical.
Yeah, in the past, it was physical development. Taekwondo made you mentally stronger through the practice. Now,
interesting.
It's more of a balanced approach.
Yeah.
Where we're working on the mindset, we're working on the physical, we're working on the spiritual, and integrating a lot of, Il-Shin principles. Now,
so how has your school? So you have schools.
I have schools.
How has the practice and the teachings in your school, if you were to reflect back from like day one, we cut the ribbon, we opened up, this is how we're training, versus how your school's trained today? Like, has that shifted?
Shifted very, very much. Again, I only knew what I knew when I first opened the school. Now, I don't want to say I was only physical. I'm going to try to remain humble, but I was a really good teacher. I was just a natural teacher. And I also loved my students. So I would do everything I can for them. So there was the commitment, there was the passion, there was the knowledge somewhat. But I only knew the physical, and they developed the mental strength, the mental skills through the physical exercises.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right?
Yes.
But then it transitioned, whereas now the fiber of all the existence in the schools is based on this internal development with a physical benefit rather than a physical benefit with an internal development.
100%. That goes so in alignment with my final shift.
Oh, save it. You gotta save it, right?
I know, I am. I'm saving it. But it's very funny because Chris didn't even know that.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, it is quite remarkable. Like, and now, like you asked me what my driving force is, and my schools are doing very well. And the reason why I believe they're doing very well is because of this philosophy that we have behind it. It became the fiber of the existence and everything. And an example is like 2 nights ago, I actually, one of my master instructors under me, she says, "Sir, I have our leadership team. Would you please do a Tado seminar with everybody?" I'm like, "Sure, I love teaching T." And I'm like, "Well, how many people?" She goes, "Well, we invited their parents to come in." I'm like, "Sure, okay, invite the parents." I'm thinking it'd be like 15 people, 20 people. There were 60 people there. 60 people, like 40 adults.
How did you do Tado with 60 people? You had paper cups.
No, I had no plan, but we ended up getting 60 paper cups or whatever.
I was going to say, you had to have paper cups.
Yeah, it was crazy, but they sat there.
That's crazy.
For the whole hour, and I shared with them, and I had parents coming to me. I was like, "This is why I come to this school."
I love that.
This is why. But literally, like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Whoa!" And I sat down in front. I had the tea table and then everything. I said, "Wow, I wish I knew I was supposed. What am I supposed to talk about?" Like, but it was but that's why. And this is, again, I give all the credit to Grandmaster Kim's teaching, because if he did not share this with me, I wouldn't have been able to share it with my students. They would not be as competitive. So here's something very important. So, and I think you could really appreciate this. I would go see Grandmaster Kim and visit him once, actually multiple. This year was a lot, but it was great. But this year I went to Korea and saw him twice. But I'd visit him at his home, and we would have tea, Tado, for hours. And he says to me one time, "How many students do you have?" And I said, "Well, students, our schools are doing pretty good. And we just did the math the other day. We have 1,200 Taekwondo students." And he goes, No. He goes, "Those are customers. How many students do you have?" And I go, "Well, what is a student?" He goes, "Student is somebody who follows the path, whatever path that is." And I said, "Wow, I have 5 students." And he goes, "If you have 5 students, you have more students than 90% of people."
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the idea is that I was been blessed with this generation of students, my son and a bunch of my master instructors under, who are now becoming partners because they're students of the Taekwondo, but students of this philosophy.
Yes.
That's what makes it different than
which is beyond the physical. Like, physical can be taught.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's right. That's
right. It's hard to teach. You can't teach passion.
Yeah.
You have it or you don't,
Yeah. And that passion has to come from the love of what you're doing.
Right. Which is inside.
Is inside.
Yeah.
Is inside. Yeah. Again, I've been doing this for a really long time. I still love it. It's crazy. My body can't do it like it used to. We talked about that, but I still go at it and love it.
So what's next then, right? So you have 7th degree black belt. What's next?
I don't know.
Well, and it might not be anything Taekwondo related. Like I know.
Yeah, I mean, I would say
climbing mountains and.
I mean,
and
I love mountains. I love climbing. No, what is next? That's a great question. Look, I have great staff in my schools. They really have been steering the ship. I'm kind of steering it, but they're driving it for sure.
Mm-hmm,
And I trust them impeccably. And I have Empowered Mastery, which I'm so grateful to have you a part of. And obviously, with the transition and changes, this is growing into something that's beautiful as well. But if you were to ask me what's next, is I want to take Grandmaster Kim's Il-Il-Shin philosophy and let that become a household name. I want to do it through martial arts. I want to through it in the martial arts industry. I've been speaking at many industry events about it. I also, it's the essence and foundation and the fiber of Empowered Mastery's existence, and we integrate it wonderfully. And again, through even individuals coaching with you, you're sharing the same Il-Il-Shin philosophy that I shared with you, that Grandmaster Kim shared with me, and and then, but the idea is like, yeah, people should know this. I mean, it's so simple.
Well, and I say this daily. I don't know what I don't know. We don't know what we don't know. You said that earlier. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
So true. It's so true. But we just have to then be open to learn what we don't know.
Yeah, which we have to empty the cup. Empty the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for those who may not know, well, what is Il-Il-Shin? Il-Il-Shin, the literal translation, Il in Korean is first, but Il also means day. And Shin means renewal. So every day we renew ourselves. And we just say, be better every day. And the idea is that we take the time to look and ask ourselves the questions, what can I do to be better than I was yesterday? Yep. That little philosophy. And then there's meditation. There's Tado, which we should do a session on Tado.
You literally took the word. I was waiting. I was like, just wait, just hold it. And she's talking. Yeah. But I think we should do a Tado session. Yeah. But then also we could break the Il-Il-Shin philosophy down, the 10 rules, like one by one, and have a session for each one where we do a deeper dive into each one. But it's so true. Just every day, just like, I could have been a little bit more patient.
That's right.
I could have showed a little bit more joy. Yeah. I could have been a little bit more grateful, or whatever it may be. Like, there is, without question, at least one thing yesterday that we could have been slightly more or less.
That's the whole essence of our podcast, which everybody should know is based on the concept of Il-Il-Shin and daily renewal and being.
It's all coming full circle.
It's all coming full circle, right? But how can we be? What is the slightest shift that we can do in our day to day? And it does. And here's the thing: people think it needs to be big.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be big. I think, like, we used to have a thing, like, one of them in one of the rules is doing good deeds. Well, good deeds, does that mean I have to like take somebody to the store? No. Good deed is literally opening the door for somebody and helping them. Is looking at, you're paying for somebody a transaction. You look at them and say thank you, and you look them in the eye rather than looking at the
look up and out. Yes,
that's right. These are all like those little things, the slightest little things that really make a difference in the other people's lives. Like that.
Yeah,
that's just a good deeds one.
Have you ever heard of The Princess and the Pea?
No,
Once Upon a Mattress.
No, let's hear it.
Well, so my daughter, ironically, checked this book out from the library earlier this week, so it's literally sitting on my dining room table. But it's about a prince trying to find his princess, and they stick a P underneath, like, 18 or 20 mattresses or whatever. And if she's a true princess, she won't be able to sleep. Because she'll feel that slight, change or whatever. So that's like the super, super high level. And so, they go through all this thing. It's a princess and the P, but it's the tiniest little thing, a little P.
Yeah. Can make
makes a big ripple.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And I think if anybody gets something out of our conversations is just, look at things a little bit brighter, take one little thing off your calendar, but it takes introspection. And I think, look, my final shift would be, right? I'll let you have to always finish off, right?
I know but I do have one more question for you too, but tell me your final shift. Well, actually, no, let me ask my question because it might go in tandem. So my last question is, what lesson took you the longest to learn?
What lesson took me the longest to learn? In Illusion or just general?
Just in general.
Oh, geez. Huh. The financial discipline. I'm still trying to figure it out. Wow, that's nice. I think I want to get that. Wow, that's nice. I want to go there. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm trying to figure that one out. But what lesson?
I would say number 8 off of Illusion is definitely a challenging lesson to learn. But I think also just having the awareness daily to be able to say, okay, what could I have been a little bit more or less of yesterday? But then shorten the time frame, because sometimes we think about it like weeks later. So can we shorten the time frame where it's like in the moment? Like how close to that moment can we be where we recognize, okay, I need to make this tiny shift or change, in my thoughts or whatever.
And that comes down to the check-ins, is that people, I think most people spend a lot of time working in their lives, not enough on it. And it doesn't take a lot to work on it, just have to take the time to reflect. And if they take the time to reflect like this, you ask the question in the morning, if today is to be my last day on earth, how do I choose to live? Now you're holding yourself to standards and you're seeing if you're living up to them. That right there, I think, has its weight in gold.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, your final.
What's your final shift?
I forgot it.
Okay, I'm going to tell you mine.
Well, you have to know yours. I'm
going to tell you mine. My final shift is shifting from I will to I am. So a lot of times in life we're like, oh, I will go to the gym, or I will eat better, or I will be kinder, or I will do this, or I will do that. But all you're putting out into the universe is the will to want, not the actual doing. Yeah. So making that change to I am more grateful. I am kinder. I am eating healthy. I am a master of my body. I am just the words from I will to I am change the energy around whatever it is. It gives it more power.
I will is putting it off in the future, and I am is taking ownership to it now.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So do you think next episode we should do some Illusion philosophy?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So
now that people know who you are and they know who I am.
That's right.
We got to get Grandmaster Kim on here one of these days.
He will do it. I have to call him later on today, but we'll plan as well. But I want to thank everybody for joining us today. As always, hope you learned a bunch of things, and hopefully that one little slight shift in your perception will bring you massive results over time, so we continue to be better every single day. Thank you, Angela, as always. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next conversation.
Bye. Bye-bye.